Three hikers disappeared near Blackstone Mountain in 1998. Search teams later found their camp untouched. Their food was still warm, their radios were still active. But the strangest part? 3 hikers disappeared near Blackstone Mountain in 1998. Search teams later found their camp untouched. Their food was still warm, their radios were still active. But the strangest part? For 11 nights after they vanished, emergency operators continued receiving signals from deep beneath the mountain, signals that should have been impossible. And according to newly leaked geological surveys, there may have been something buried underneath Blackstone Mountain long before those hikers ever arrived. Something hidden, something sealed. And according to the final transmission, something that was never supposed to be opened. Blackstone Mountain sits in one of the most isolated regions of northern Canada. No towns nearby, no roads, no marked cave systems. Just endless forests stretching for miles beneath freezing skies and exposed stone cliffs. Locals rarely enter the area, not because it's forbidden, but because strange stories have surrounded the mountain for decades. Stories about lights moving beneath the trees at night, metallic sounds echoing through the forest after midnight, and radio interference so severe that hikers sometimes lose communication entirely. Most people dismiss those stories as exaggerations, until October of 1998. That's when 3 experienced hikers entered the region to document abandoned Cold War communication sites rumored to exist near the mountain range. The group wasn't inexperienced. These were people who had explored remote areas before. They carried emergency radios, climbing equipment, cold weather supplies, satellite navigation systems. They planned to stay for 6 days, but after the 4th day, all contact stopped. At first, authorities assumed bad weather had damaged their equipment. Then the rescue teams arrived, and what they found made no sense. The hikers' campsite was still standing exactly as they left it, tents untouched, backpacks still zipped closed, food containers still sitting near the fire. According to the official report, the campfire itself was still burning when rescuers discovered the site, as if the group had vanished only moments earlier. But there were no footprints leading away from the camp. None. No signs of struggle, no animal tracks, nothing. Then investigators found one of the radios, still powered on, still transmitting static. At first, the signal sounded completely random, just distorted noise cutting in and out beneath heavy interference. But later that night, something changed. At exactly 2:13 a.m., a voice suddenly came through the transmission. One of the rescue operators later described the sound as someone speaking through moving water. The voice was weak, distorted, almost impossible to understand. But after audio engineers cleaned the recording, they discovered a sentence hidden beneath the static. "Do not follow the lights." The transmission lasted only 7 seconds. Then the signal disappeared again. The next night at exactly 2:13 a.m., the same voice returned, this time sounding more exhausted, more unstable. Again, the message was brief: stay away from the lower tunnel. That sentence immediately confused investigators. There were no known tunnels beneath Blackstone Mountain, at least none listed publicly. Still, emergency teams continued monitoring the signal every night. And for 11 consecutive nights, the voice kept returning, each transmission becoming stranger than the last. According to leaked transcripts, one message included heavy metallic sounds in the background. Another appeared to contain multiple voices speaking simultaneously beneath the static. Then came the transmission investigators allegedly attempted to suppress, the one never released publicly. A former radio operator later described hearing someone whispering while running. The recording began with static. Then distant scraping sounds echoed through the audio. Metal against concrete, slow, rhythmic. Then the voice whispered, "They opened the lower gate." Seconds later, the transmission cut out entirely. That was the final signal ever received from the missing hikers. Officially, authorities blamed the phenomenon on damaged radio equipment combined with environmental interference. The case was quietly closed. No bodies were ever found, and over time, most people forgot the story completely. Until nearly 27 years later. In early 2025, an anonymous account uploaded classified geological scans connected to Blackstone Mountain. At first, the images looked ordinary. standard underground density maps used during mining and construction surveys. But researchers quickly noticed something impossible hidden beneath the data. Nearly 2 miles below the mountain, the scans appeared to show large geometric structures, perfectly straight corridors, massive hollow chambers, symmetrical layouts buried deep beneath solid rock. Natural cave systems don't form like that, especially not at that depth. Online investigators initially dismissed the scans as fake, until several retired geological engineers independently confirmed the documents matched authentic Cold War survey formatting used during underground military construction projects in the 1960s. That discovery changed everything, because suddenly, the missing hikers' transmissions about lower tunnels didn't sound impossible anymore. Then internet researchers uncovered something even stranger. A restricted government contract from 1961 referencing a classified facility beneath Blackstone Mountain. The project name appeared only once in surviving records: Sublevel Theta. No official explanation existed for what Sublevel Theta actually was. And strangely, all references to the project disappeared from federal archives after 1965. But fragments of leaked maintenance reports still remained online. Most were incomplete, heavily damaged, partially redacted, but several lines stood out immediately. Ventilation systems operational, freight elevators secured, sector access restricted after activation. Activation of what? Nobody knows, and that question only became more disturbing after researchers uncovered testimony from a former maintenance worker connected to the site. In 2007, a strange post appeared on an obscure internet forum. At the time, almost nobody noticed it. The account claimed to belong to a retired underground maintenance worker who had spent several years stationed beneath Blackstone Mountain during the late 1960s. Most people assumed the story was fictional, until details from the post later matched classified survey documents leaked years afterward. According to the anonymous writer, workers underground followed extremely strict rules. Entire sections of the facility were permanently sealed. Electrical failures occurred constantly. Equipment sometimes disappeared from locked storage rooms. But one section of the post disturbed investigators more than anything else. The writer claimed workers were given a specific warning before entering the lower sectors. If the lights shut off, do not look toward the tunnel. No explanation followed, no context, just that sentence. The post vanished less than 24 hours later, but archived screenshots survived, and once they resurfaced online, urban explorers became obsessed with locating the facility themselves. Most searches failed until early 2026. That's when a small exploration group claimed they had discovered hidden ventilation structures buried near the northern face of Blackstone Mountain. They uploaded short clips online showing rusted steel doors, exposed cables, collapsed concrete corridors hidden beneath snow. Then one member announced they planned to live stream their descent underground. Thousands watched the stream the night it began. At first, nothing unusual happened. The explorers entered through a narrow maintenance shaft, partially hidden behind fallen rock. Inside, the tunnels looked ancient. Cold concrete walls stretched endlessly beneath flickering flashlight beams. Rust covered the pipes running along the ceiling. Water dripped constantly somewhere in the darkness. The deeper they descended, the stranger the environment became. Old machinery still sat connected to power sources. Emergency lights flickered weakly inside sealed rooms. And according to viewers watching the live stream, strange noises occasionally echoed from somewhere deeper within the tunnels. Then the group reached a reinforced blast door. Faded letters barely visible beneath rust read, "Theta Access." The atmosphere immediately changed. Even the explorers became quieter, nervous. One member repeatedly asked if anyone else could hear movement deeper inside the corridor. At first, viewers assumed it was paranoia. Then the audio distortion started. Static flooded the live stream. The camera image flickered repeatedly. Low-frequency sounds pulsed beneath the interference. Some viewers later claimed they could hear voices hidden inside the static. Others described hearing breathing. Then one explorer forced the blast door open. The corridor beyond looked different from the rest of the facility. Cleaner, less decayed, as if someone had maintained it recently. The group slowly entered, flashlights cutting through complete darkness. Then the live stream froze. 7 seconds passed. No movement, no audio, nothing. When the image finally returned, one member of the exploration team was gone, completely gone. The others immediately panicked. They searched nearby rooms, called his name repeatedly, but there were no footsteps, no sounds, no indication he had gone anywhere. Then the camera briefly pointed deeper into the corridor, and viewers saw something standing in the darkness. Not clearly, just a shape, tall, thin, completely motionless. The live stream ended seconds later. None of the explorers have posted online since. Days later, a heavily corrupted audio recording appeared anonymously online. Investigators still don't know who uploaded it. Most of the file contains static, but several phrases were isolated successfully. A male voice whispering, "It knows when the lights change." Then, "We should never have opened the lower gate." And finally, one sentence investigators still can't explain. "It wasn't underground with us. We were underground with it." Shortly after the recording spread online, access roads leading toward Blackstone Mountain were reportedly blocked by federal authorities. Official statements claimed the closures were related to environmental hazards and unstable terrain. But satellite images captured weeks later appeared to show fresh construction near the mountain's northern ridge, including new ventilation structures. To this day, nobody knows what existed beneath Blackstone Mountain, or whether the missing hikers in 1998 ever discovered sublevel Theta. But one detail still unsettles investigators. According to archived emergency radio logs, something unusual happened immediately after the final transmission in 1998.